All right, so fashion designer Diane, although I remember calling her Diane von Furstenberg, is speaking out after being asked about her husband of 24 years, Barry Diller, coming out as gay. Now, Diane told Variety, "What's the difference? It doesn't change anything, and it's a stupid question. I married 2 gay men, okay? To me, they're not gay, so it doesn't make any difference." Okay, wait. So what do you think of Diane's reaction to the interviewer's question here? You already let me know you guys aren't here.
I mean, it's very provocative, right? Like all of us are kind of going, wait a minute, how does that work? But I think it's really interesting because she's opening up the conversation of like, what does this spectrum, this rainbow of sexuality really mean? And a few years back when you heard like the young kids starting to talk about all these little different, I think there's something like 50 different sexual identities. I'll admit, I was kind of like, what? Yeah, really? Are there? And then I started reading them and being like, well, wait a minute. Am I one of these things? Yeah. Like, for example, pansexuality refers to anyone who, when you have an attraction to anyone, regardless of gender or gender identity. They're just attracted to the person. And similarly, there's something called sapiosexuality, which refers to an attraction first of intelligence. That you actually don't care so much about the body, you're attracted to the intelligence. So I don't know about the dynamics of how Diane and her partner work, whether or not they're having traditional intercourse, whether they find pleasure differently, whether they just define it differently. But the fact that she doesn't care means we shouldn't care either.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what?
Nicely said.
That's an interesting take. The first thing I thought about when Diane made this comment is that she was protecting someone that she loves very much. Yeah. And not out of shame, but out of just respect so her partner, Barry Diller, doesn't get torn apart by the internet, which is what we do nowadays. Right. And they got married 24 years ago. And I know we're in different times, but not too long ago, and probably back then, a single man, Barry, by the way, is the CEO of Paramount and like responsible for projects like Saturday Night Fever, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Cheers. Like, he was a big deal. And I'm wondering if they made a decision to be like, listen, I am a gay man. I don't feel like I can be out in this type of job, especially it's so front-facing. So let's just have a nice arrangement, because they never lived together. They always had separate houses. Yeah. And so
at the time, that happened a lot. Yeah. That was a thing.
Yeah.
There was a thing for years and years and years called lavender marriages, and it was people who would marry out of convenience. Sometimes it was both like a lesbian and a gay man.
Not the separate house thing.
It wasn't the separate house thing. It was more like it wasn't safe to come out.
Yes.
And so people would get married and they'd have an agreement together because it was, as you say, maybe they wanted to raise a family. I think that happens less and less now in this day and age than back then, because we have more options and opportunities.
Yeah. I just want to jump to the idea that this is why this is challenging, and why I think, listen, it was fair for the reporter to ask the question. That's what a reporter's job is. Her answer, though, is very revelatory, because I think it puts us back on our heels. Because for me, and I'll call myself out, I think I probably, for most of my life, have been raised with a very binary idea of what marriage is, whether it's, you know, and I believe obviously in gay marriage, but if it's like, you know, hetero man, hetero woman, gay man, lesbian woman, lesbian woman, what her response showed was, maybe I'm the problem. Like, maybe it's my view that is way too small, because who knows why anybody gets married? They happen to be public people, but she's telling us it's none of our business, is what she's telling us. And what does the situation impact my life? It impacts my life zero. So what do I care?
I actually read this entirely as though she almost couldn't compute the question. Like, what do you mean? What about my husband? My husband of 24 years that I love? I love him so much. Why does it matter that he's gay? Like, she almost couldn't process it. And I took it as being, don't laugh, but so romantic. This woman couldn't even get to the level of what we're talking about here, because for her, it's just the man that she loves. It almost seems like a side detail. I don't know. I thought it was so beautiful.
I want to put it out there. My friend Michael, who's gay. Michael, when you're ready to get married, call me.
Oh,
I'm ready. Ready. Here, we already had the conversation. He knows. Ready to go.
Hey, you. Come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.